At college and university, students are pushed together in order to test their teamwork and cooperation skills. In the media industry, lots of different departments are required to work together to produce a final product, even at their amateur level. We will be exploring a variety of different opinions from students about collaboration across different departments to see whether or not it is more beneficial for them and their own work, as well as its impact on each department and their ability to be creative.
Personally, I am a writer, and that's what I prefer to do. I prefer to be working behind the scenes, sort of create the story and give sort of a good idea of visual storytelling for the director to run with. That's what I like to do. I feel my work has been affected by student collaborations, both positively and negatively. I love the fact that we're able to collaborate with so many people with amazing ideas. I love the fact that people are able to come together and bring their skill set along, and I think my writing has massively improved because of that. That goes to show with the Malum video, the Malum film, but also I believe that at times it becomes a little bit watered down, and it's really hard to get your vision across, because when more and more people come along, people have different ideas. When a number of people come together on a project as well, it can dilute your work a little bit. And I have seen examples of that in the Malum production. For example, there was a scene where a certain sentence changed, and personally I don't believe it gave across the right look for the character. It just didn't feel right for the character I created, and I was a little bit like, oh, this isn't who I wrote, this isn't who I put in the script. And although it was still amazingly done, it was still just, it just felt watered down, just didn't feel as authentic as I wanted it to feel. But as I say, that was just one, maybe two lines, stuff like that. So the price that you pay to have all these people collaborate on a project, and see it come to life with so many different skill sets, it's a very, very small price to pay.
We see here that different skill sets from lots of people can be beneficial to a production, but it can lead to some altercations from the initial idea. But for all intents and purposes, it seems to be worth the sacrifice. But does teamwork always come to fruition and have its benefits?
On a production or on a set, my experiences so far up until this year has been that I have had to do everything myself, ranging from organisation, production, directing, writing, editing, sound, music, so pretty much everything. My first 2 years, I would have said that the collaboration across the modules, or should I say the years, has been non-existent in my experience. There does seem to be certain little cliques within certain groups of students, what I've noticed and observed. My year, they've been very, very reluctant to work with other people. It was something that I brought up in my professional practice presentation about how I feel that this is going to hinder them in the future, and especially within film and television, is that quite a lot of times you will not get to work with the same people twice. So thankfully on my production, or my main production for this year, I've been able to allocate students from year 1, year 2, other actors outside that I've not worked with before, and I feel it's been a pretty good production on various levels in that the actors have actually realised what goes into producing something that's filmed. They've had a little bit of experience, sort of like behind the scenes as such. They've offered to help with sound or whatever where they can, and vice versa. The crew, we've had one member who filled in as a support actor because we got let down at the last minute. So collaboration this year, I would say, has been excellent in that people are not afraid to work with people for the first time, and I think it enhances your personal development, your people skills, your life skills, and your general experience whilst on a set. So you build up not just a personal rapport, but you also build up a professional working ethic and appreciation of others. Collaboration, it depends on what you're actually filming. I would definitely say that on any production you need probably a bare minimum of maybe, you could probably get away with 2 people, but you need one to be doing camera and directing, and you need somebody to do sound recording. So you need at least 2 people, I think there. 3 would be better with somebody to do the camera, somebody to maybe do the production and the directing. It's very hard, as I've experienced myself, to sort of like be a one-man band or try to be a jack of all trades. So I don't think working on your own's very good at any level.
Craig makes us aware that it's not always as easy to have a successful collaboration due to clash of ideas, which resulted in his progress causing him to become a jack of all trades. After years of failure, he shows that external outreach has its benefits and that developing the right team is greater than internal work, and that a bigger crew shares the workload, suggesting collaboration is better than independent work.
My roles and job on the set of a production are to act in front of the camera, to put on a performance that can involve taking part in a devised theatre piece, which usually involves collaborating with fellow cast members and deciding how the plot should go. I think the collaboration of student departments has indeed been very helpful, and indeed has helped to collaborate from my own work, because I've taken part in a production at Christmas, which was A Miracle in Bradford, which involved working with the music department, and indeed also with yourself, working in the film in Malham. So yes, I think it's very useful. I think it's very useful to pick up tips from other students as well, and to collaborate with them, and to find out what's going on in other departments.
In the Performing Arts department, Alan has found collaboration to be very useful for his own progress, and has provided him with lots of opportunities to develop his acting skills and learn from other students from different departments.
The jobs that I do, like around the music department, I've got to do marketing and promotion, got to do music for TV and film, music theory as well, we do that. We do performance-based stuff, which is basically going out to venues and playing a list of songs that we've all been practicing. My role in that sort of either vocalist, guitarist or xylophone player, which is quite fun. We do a lot of collaboration like throughout the course sort of thing. We were meant to go to Spain, but we've not got to go this year. But we did Malham last year, like October sort of time I think it was. And we worked on a film up there that were really good, and it just sort of gears you up ready for professional atmosphere, because like I've been doing it like professional music for 13 years, and getting to work with people like on a daily basis. I think if you're not used to that sort of situation, it's sort of good to get that experience in beforehand.
Johnny states that one of the biggest benefits of student collaboration is how it prepares you for a professional atmosphere, as that is a major aspect when it comes to working in the media industry. It seems that initially all parties seem to see the benefits of teamwork and collaboration across departments, but how does this affect their individual practice and creativity?
Creativity is not a problem for me, because I specialise in writing. It's something that I can do. Thankfully, some of the issues that we had regarding script, actors, people not being able to get childcare, that I was able to collaborate with not just the actors but the crew, and everybody had an input where we had to ad-lib some scenes. Things had to be adjusted pretty much on the day, because we've got such a tight filming schedule that unfortunately it was needs must. So I always personally believe that there's no such thing as a bad idea. It's just that some ideas may be the wrong ones at the wrong time.
As Craig specialises in writing, it would seem that he has more creativity when he is alone, as opposed to working with others, because all of his ideas go into a script, but that isn't to say he doesn't take advice from other people on set that may help improve his script.
I feel that I'm more free to delve into my own creativity when I'm by myself, and you can go off on your own tangents. You do that with someone else, they're just going to be like, okay, stick to the point. Do you know what I mean? When I'm by myself, I can just go, okay, this character could do this character could do this character's motives, I like this because of this sort of reason, and I can go off on all these tangents, and I feel like I can really inject so much creativity into it. But it's all about sort of compromise, because your creativity isn't necessarily going to be as good as someone else's, or it might not fit better than someone else's. Everyone has their own form of creativity. No one's is better than each other's. It's just personal to them. So I'm not sure I can say more or less creativity. What I can just say is different creativity, and it always goes back to the idea of compromise. Like, sometimes you have to compromise your own creativity in order to see things through, someone else's eyes. And I think you can only really get positives from that. If you want to do your own creative stuff, no one's stopping you. Do you know what I mean? Go off, do your own creative stuff, that's absolutely fine. But are you going to put more creativity into that? No, not necessarily. I think you're just going to have more of your own version of creativity, and that might not necessarily be the best thing. I think 110% it's better to be working with people. You know what, maybe you can work by yourself at certain points. Like, personally, when I'm writing, I like to work by myself, but then when it goes on to that next stage, learning to work as a team is imperative. It really, really is. It's imperative for your future, but it's imperative for you right now. Do you know what I mean? There's so many life lessons you can learn from this. So no projects that you see on Netflix, no projects that you see on DVD and in the cinema are done with one person. They're done with a huge team, an absolutely an enormous team. I mean, to me, that speaks volumes and volumes for this documentary. Do you know what I mean? It almost gives you the right answer. Yes, collaboration is the right way to go. Do your own bit, your own creativity, just sort of really invest in that. But then when you've got that, when you've made something, offer it up to people, because then they have the opportunity to change it, they have the opportunity to take it further than you thought it could have gone before. And it has the opportunity to affect more people. And although you may have sort of a little bit of dilution there, the price for getting it out there is so small. The price for working with people and networking and seeing this thing that started off so small in your hands, suddenly it's this huge thing. It's just such a small price to pay to have that end result.
Once again, we see here that specialising in writing may lead to an individual being more creative on their own terms, as they are free to put whatever they want into their script without being pulled back into reality by somebody else. This may suggest that it truly depends on the area you specialise in to whether or not you feel more creative alone or as part of a group.
I think there's advantages to both, working alone and working together. Because as a freelancer, in terms of, if you mean in terms of the acting profession, as a freelancer, it means that you're free to negotiate your own contracts, obviously with the help of equity. But also I can see as well that it's also useful to work with other departments, because again, you learn and you develop your ideas all the time. So yeah, I would say both are good ways of working. I think it's important to collaborate in this industry with other people, because you then are keeping ahead in the industry and keeping abreast of the news and of learning opportunities, because you never, as an actor, you never stop learning, and as you will know yourself, you never stop learning. There's new developments happening all the time. Through collaboration with other people, you learn about how to react to other people, to their behaviours and to what they do. So yeah, I think collaboration is very important.
As Alan suggests here, there is benefits to both working alone and as a group, which affects his creativity in different ways. Working alone gives him the freedom to negotiate his own contract and do the jobs he wants to do, but sees more benefit in reaching out to a larger collaboration scheme and being one step ahead. So how about the music department and writing songs? Is there any more creativity in working alone here?
I definitely think I've got more creativity when I'm working on my own, because I'm in my own personal space normally when I'm doing my creative thing, and it's been a process that's taken 13 years and I've still not fully cracked it. I don't think I ever will. Like most people, they're sort of always trying to find that specific place to practice and do their thing. But at the same time, when you practice with a band or you play, like you do collaboration with other people, you can get a bit more excited because there's other people to bounce off of. So there is a perk there as well. I think it just depends on your personality, really. I do find that like writing my own music, when I write my own music, it works better, sort of thing. But then we'll do like collaborative work together, and that sounds really good as well. But I think work that you undertake as yourself, it's more personal, whereas when it's a group project, it's still something to be proud of. But it's sort of, you have to accommodate everybody's needs and everything and make sure that, you know, you're not sort of going, well, we're doing this, and sort of dictating how the direction of the thing goes. But then at the same time, yeah, you can get some really brilliant work. It depends on how proud you are, sort of thing. Like me, I've been playing as a solo singer-songwriter for 13 years. A big reason why I don't fall into a band is because it's relying on other people for the time and all that sort of thing. So I think when you put your own time in and you're doing your own project, it's alright. But then say like this sort of thing where you guys do filming, I do music, I think that works really well. I think that there should be more scope for that. Same with the art students as well, creating like DVD covers for the film guys, creating art like for the albums and stuff like that for the music students. I think that can be very, very beneficial, because otherwise if you outsource it, you're paying an absolute fortune. Whereas if you can all work together whilst on the course, you can sort of get it all done, and it's helping each other's coursework as well.
Johnny really puts collaboration into perspective here, and it begins to look like the writing side of media and idea generation, whether that be for music or scripts, seems to result in there being more creativity when working alone. But that is not to say nobody else cannot have better ideas than you. But when it comes to the actual filming of a project, the benefits of teamwork and support you get seems to outweigh the benefits of individual creativity. Sure, you might have to accommodate more for other people, resulting in a loss of creativity, but the process becomes more efficient and a better range of expertise from other departments is implemented. Producing content and working together doesn't come without its issues and problems, and they can have huge impacts on a production itself.
This year I have had various issues with my producer, who he's also a fellow student, so issues is a bit harsh in that he, I feel, is struggling with his workload. In year one, you try to support people where you can, but as a producer it's a pretty hectic role, and it is quite demanding. With cross collaboration, the only things where it'd be a negative impact on it would be if you've got a clash of personalities or egos or whatever, which isn't very professional.
Normally I run a lot of events, and relying on other people for time is a massive nightmare sort of thing, because you'll be hosting a gig and you've got a strict time schedule of when people have got to be on. And if you're not on the ball and you're not there when you say you're going to be there, it messes up the whole route sort of thing, the whole rota. You know, the best bet, be there, be punctual, and you know, do your thing. Get there about an hour before if you can, so that there's plenty of time to set up, get yourself ready, and you know, crack on with it really.
In terms of in the past and with other organisations, there have been times where people's egos have got in the way, and again, my advice to any would-be actor or anybody getting involved in the performing arts in any shape or form is avoid those people like the plague, ignore them, because they will not do you no favours at all, and you won't get anywhere with them. So just basically, my advice is to take every advice from a director, producer, camera operative, is take it as advice. As well as an instruction, take it also as advice, because that is how you learn.
As we have already been made aware, collaboration seems to have some major benefits and provide people with a lot of opportunity to be creative, and these are some students deem most important.
There's multiple benefits of working with a team. You can get to learn new skills where somebody is maybe more technically aware of things than you, but the person may be better at editing, audio, camera work, positioning, even scenes and sets and stuff, lighting. I think it's one of those things that you never ever stop learning from, and you've got to appreciate and value all of those inputs. At the end of the day, you need everybody to have a personal investment in it.
There are so many benefits to both sides, working independently and working as a part of a collaboration. As I mentioned before, if you're working by yourself, you get to keep that sort of area of authenticity in your work, and you know exactly what you want to do, and that comes across. But I feel that that may make your finished product a little bit stilted. I do think it's better to have other people coming in with their ideas and their expertise to bring it to a level that, you know, maybe you didn't have ideas for before. I think there may very well be areas, there may very well be projects that might not work as well with collaboration, but I think there's always room for it. It's just to what extent you're going to collaborate. So maybe if we want to go and help the music department, we might just want to film stuff, but we might not want to say, okay, maybe on drums, I want you to turn a little bit extra to do X, Y, and Z. That would look better aesthetically, but it might make absolutely no sense for a drummer, and it might just ruin what they're wanting to give across. And again, it goes back to this idea of you may sacrifice authenticity through that. So in some cases, yeah, I do think it may be better to not water it, dial it down a little bit, but I don't think that's a common occurrence at all. I think you have to have the right amount of collaboration. I mean, you know, there's that term, too many cooks spoils the broth, because it's true. You have so many people putting in their input that by the end of it, it's all input and no content, no original content. And I think you have to be really wary of that. Yeah, so I have had some issues with production personally when it has come to collaboration, but that's not necessarily the fault of collaboration. That's more sometimes your artistic influence is not what other people are wanting to go for. So yeah, I've worked with you know, students before, co-workers, whatever you want to call them, and their idea of what they want to put forward is not my idea, and I have to sort of argue, oh, I don't think that's very good because of X, Y, and Z, and then they have to sort of argue back, and it can halt productions, it can slow productions down massively. I mean, we've all heard these stories in Hollywood about how actors have walked out just because, you know, they've had their own contributions like thrown away, or they've had creative differences with a director, and this is what it is. This is what collaboration does.
Important things you can learn. You can actually work with other people instead of just working by yourself. That can sort of spread out a load as well. So if you're used to doing everything by yourself, your time is completely out of the window. Like collaborating, it's got some real benefits in the sense of when you get out like out into the real world, you're not always going to be on your own. You're going to have to team up with other people. So it's nice to get that experience in there as well, because otherwise you're going to end up going into a job thinking, oh, this is all about me, and it's not.
Cooperation with each other, learn from each other's mistakes, watch what everyone else does, and learn from it. That's the best advice I can give, really. Yeah, learn from each other.
I think there's just so many lessons you can learn from collaboration, and one of those is definitely so key to productions, which is communication, and it's compromise as well. It's learning to compromise and learning to work well with other people. There are so many lessons, but compromise and communication, I would say, are the biggest ones, the most important ones. These are the ones that are really going to have an effect later on in our careers.
I think it was being made clear from these interviews that collaboration is extremely useful across different departments in the media industry, even for students. Collaboration is a huge part of producing mainstream products and helps people share a load and get experts in each area to produce the best product they can. As we have seen, this may limit your overall creative input, but at a cost which seems to outweigh this loss for the better. Granted, certain areas seem to lead to more creativity when working alone, such as writing or drawing or designing, but when these are applied to a bigger concept or product, it feeds into a bigger collaborative process, meaning it's not too much for a single person to handle. They can work to a plausible time frame and with the best people for the jobs at hand.
Hi, I'm Dead Freedom, singer-songwriter. This is Alfie's song. Are you still waiting by the door for me to come home? 'Cause when I left you there, I felt my heart tear. 'Cause I walked out on my best friend. It's wrong, I can't fail. You walked out on my best friend. It's wrong, I want to fail. I know you're better off where you are, but still I'll bear these scars. And if I went back to the start, would it mend my broken heart? 'Cause I walked out on my best friend. It's wrong, I can't fail. You walked out on my best friend. It's wrong, I want to fail. You had my back when we had nothing else, but I turned that back to please someone else. And I walked out on my best friend. It's wrong, I can't fail. You walked out on my best friend. It's wrong, I can't fail. Are you still waiting by the door
for me to come home. 'Cause when I left you there, yeah, I felt my heart tear.